What's up, everybody? Look at the neighborhood. Look at them beautiful. These buildings are beautiful. These joints was all abandoned at one time, abandoned and run down. Look at all that. Look at that. That's beautiful right there. I would love to live right there. Look at that. A lot of white people in Harlem. I remember at one time, white people would come up here. There was only two reasons white people would come to Harlem: to buy drugs. Back in the 60s and the 70s, they was coming to buy some coochie. They was coming to buy sex. That's messing with the hookies. Like I said, back in the days, white men would risk their life. They would risk their life, go through the worst black neighborhoods in America for some coochie. That's a fact. I was there. How else was they buying? Black women wasn't going to white neighborhoods. White men coming through the worst neighborhoods in the world to buy some coochie. They would risk their life for it. And then that's how the preacher became a pimp, because they would go to the church. At one time, after slavery, they would go to the churches to meet the women. The pastor would hook them up with the women. And then the pastor became a pimp. That's how the pastor became a pimp, because he had all the women in his church and his congregation. They would come meet the pastor. The pastor hook them up with sisters or so. And then once sisters got finished messing with the white man, she would give some of the money she made back to the preacher. And that's how the preacher became a pimp, in my opinion. But then crack and stuff like that. That's another reason they started coming in Harlem, through the ghetto, to buy drugs. It's coming through the ghetto to buy drugs. But look at it now. All this shit was run down at one time. This was run down, boy. And white people were there. Now they're coming up there. And they're pushing black people out. It's called gentrification. Who remember when Harlem was an armpit? It was right before gentrification gave it a facelift. It's when the middle class never came past 59th Street on the Uptown train. The seat was guaranteed. That's what I said in my poem, because like when the train, like the Uptown train would go express. When it came to 59th Street, the Uptown and the train would come to 59th Street and it would go express from 59th Street to 125th Street. So all the middle class white people would get off when the train came to 59th Street. They would catch the local C train or the B train. That's why, and black people, they knew that. So we would stand next to them, because we knew at the next stop they was going to get up and we would have a seat. That's why I said, who remember when Harlem was an armpit? It was right before gentrification gave it a facelift. It's when the middle class never came past 59th Street on the Uptown train. The seat was guaranteed. All right, y'all, let me go. Take it easy. Check out my book. That's one of my books. Take it easy.